Welcome back, everyone. This is 4.2, solving a quadratic equation graphically. And let's look at page 283. So to get started, we are shown a graph. This shows the volume of water in a tank in V liters as a function of time t. All right, so your y axis is the volume, V in liters, while the x axis is your um, t in minutes. Use the graph to determine how long it takes for the tank to be empty. Well, which point of the graph tells you that the volume is zero? It's this one, all right? And at that point, when the volume is zero, that is t is equal to 60, all right? 60 seconds, okay. Or 60 minutes, sorry, 60 minutes. Use the equation of the graph to determine how long it takes for the tank to empty. Well, if this is the equation given for the tank to empty, it will be made equal to zero. So it's negative 100t plus 6,000 equals zero. Moving t to the right side so that it becomes positive. So 6,000 equals 100t. Dividing both sides by 100, you see that 60 is equal to t, which ties in with what you saw in here. All right. Of course, they would have the same answer. How is the graph related to the solution of the equation? Well, if you look at the graph, all right, which one is it that gives you the solution to this equation? All right. Well, it is the intercept, all right, the t-intercept or the x-intercept, if you want to think of it that way. The t-intercept is the solution of the equation. Make sense? All right, so let's move on. Let's do some more factoring here and deconstruct your understanding. All right here. All right. So solve each quadratic equation, x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. Two numbers that multiply to negative 6 add to 1. So that would be positive 3 and 2. So that would be x plus 3 times x minus 2 equals 0. So x equals negative 3 and 2. Well, this one, all right, factor out the x. It becomes x minus 9 equals 0. So x equals 0 and x minus 9 equals 0. So x equals 9. So you have two values, 0 and 9. Well, this one, okay. Some of you might need to do decomposition. I'll just do it quickly. 5x here, x here, multiplies to negative 6. And then as I think about, you can add the 7x. That would be plus 2 here, and then minus 3 here, equals 0. 5x minus 3 equals 0, or x equals 3/5, while x plus 2 equals 0, or x equals negative 2. Okay, next. 4x squared minus 28x plus 49. So you may notice that that is a perfect square trinomial. That would be 2x minus 7 times 2x minus 7, or 2x minus 7 squared equals 0. Therefore, 2x minus 7 equals 0. Therefore, x equals 7/2. Okay. All right. So you may also use graphing technology as you did this. All right. But this will be the second part. Let's answer first the questions here. Okay. Oh, no, I skipped that. So that's okay. So when you graph this using graphing technology, these are the things you will notice. For this one, the x-intercepts would be negative 3, 2. The corresponding quadratic equation would be x squared, oops, plus x minus 6 equals 0. Okay. And the discriminant would be 25 if you solve it. All right. The next one, x squared minus 9x. These are your solutions earlier when we did it by hand, and you will see that the intercepts are 0, 9. It's really the same, right? The corresponding equation would be x squared minus 9x equals 0. And the discriminant would be 81. While x squared plus 5x 7x minus 6, when we solved it, this is what we got. And in the using decimals, we got negative 3/5 negative 2. As the x-intercepts, you will see that it's the same, just like what we did. And the discriminant is 169. While the last one, the x-intercept is 7/2. The corresponding quadratic equation is 4x squared minus 28x plus 49 equals 0. And the discriminant is 0. Okay. Now, how are the graph of a quadratic function, I'm doing this, the zeros of the function and the roots of its corresponding quadratic equation related? Do you notice that they are practically the same? The zeros of the quadratic function would be the same as the x-intercept of the graph and the roots of the quadratic equation. To me, they are the same. They are equal. Okay. So when I tell you guys, all right, so give me the zeros of the function. All I'm asking is for the x-intercepts or the roots of the corresponding quadratic equation, all right? How can you use the graph of a quadratic function to determine the roots of its corresponding quadratic equation, all right? So how can you use the graph to determine the roots of the quadratic equation? Well, the x-intercepts will tell you what the roots are, all right? Find the intercepts or find the x-intercepts. These are the roots, all right? How can you use the discriminant to determine the number of roots of a quadratic equation? What do you know about the graph of the related function? All right. So when the discriminant is greater than 0, there are 2 roots. When the discriminant is equal to 0, there is 1 root. All right. Now, how does that connect to the graph? All right. When the discriminant is greater than 0, since there are 2 roots, it will have 2 x-intercepts, or a graph will hit the x-axis twice. All right. So b squared minus 4ac greater than 0. All right. 2 roots, meaning 2 x-intercepts. B squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. 1 root, therefore 1 x-intercept. Okay. So we have this equation this time, all right? Why can you not solve this by factoring? Well, because you cannot find 2 numbers that multiply to -3 and add up to -1 over the integers, all right? You can do that by solving it using completing the square or quadratic formula. You will see that the answer would be about 2.3 and -1.3, all right? Well, let's look at this one. Consider this quadratic equation. Predict the number of roots. All right, so b squared minus 4ac, what would that be? So let's see, b squared minus 4ac equals 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3. So that would be 1 minus 12, all right, equals -11. Oops. B squared minus 4ac is negative, therefore no real roots, all right? No roots. No real roots. The root would actually be a complex number, which is not covered by this course. Try to solve this equation graphically. So I wanted to graph this, all right? The function rather, okay? X squared plus x plus 3. What do you notice? So if you are doing this correctly, you will see that the graph does not hit the x-axis. What does it mean? No x-intercept. That's why there is no root, i.e. no real root. Okay? So that's it for this video and good luck with the homework. Bye.